Do you remember where we left off last time? Which was
Bold of you to assume I remember anything
I
before
know.
two
I was
days
like, what?
ago.
I was thinking one of us has to. Thankfully, I've written some stuff down. So we were talking
Mm.
about Horus Rising and how it's not exactly the best introduction to the setting.
Right, right.
So I have the question: what would you introduce people with if someone said, "I want to learn about this whole universe. Where do I start?" What would you actually tell them to do?
Oh boy. Oh man. Oh man.
I had someone do this to me. There's a friend of mine messaged me and he went, "I want to learn about the spaceships in 40K. What 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 is the book I buy to learn about the spaceships?" And I was like, there is no spaceship book. You have to read all of the books and collect all of the tiny little pieces
You
of information.
buy you buy the toys. You buy the toys first. As I can imagine, most people learned about the lore in 40K because they played. They went to the stores that you talk about and they sat down with the other people and they exchanged information, right? That's
Uh,
how it happens?
Not always.
Question mark.
No. S-
No?
no, some people come straight in through the books, like, and they don't play the game at all.
They they come in straight in through the books and they finish the books as maniacs. They're changed people. They're not the same.
They come out of it with that haunted look that never leaves them. Yeah,
I'm looking at myself in the mirror right now. I have the
yeah.
same look in my eyes.
I came in through the RPG games, which were written by another company, so made even slightly less sense because they were people writing about an IP that they cared about, but it wasn't one that they'd created specifically. So it was like listening
All
to someone
right.
else's interpretation of 40K that was 90% correct, and then some of it was just really weird and confusing. And then you try to talk to the people who know the real 40K, and they're like, no, you can't do that. That's not real.
Maybe they learn from Reddit.
I don't know. Maybe. Uh,
Maybe online. I don't know. How do people learn about 40K?
I mean, there is one big Wikipedia type website, but there's two. And one is Lexicanum, and one is just called like 40K Wiki. And people only trust one of them. And it depends what type of person they are as to whether they like them.
It's Lexicana. More people trust Lexicana.
Yeah, but some people don't like it because it's really strictly moderated. Some people only like the other one.
Mm, that's a good question, actually. How do people learn about this?
I mean, how did you learn through someone sending you the books, right?
I was forced to at gunpoint.
Oh,
Those aren't fair circumstances. How does a normal person get into something this dense?
uh, it's one of those things that I don't remember how I got in. So,
Hmm.
I mean,
It's a
mostly through
mystery.
spite because, like I said, my friends and my ex didn't
Ah,
like 40K, so they didn't want me to learn about it. So I was like, fuck yeah, I'm going to get the forbidden knowledge. And I started buying the books myself to read through.
and then you, and that's how it happened. But a lot of people, if you go to the Facebook and the forums, it's it's strange how they're hobbyists first. They don't know about the Lord, so they go to these places to ask.
I think it depends where you came in. Like I came in through a forum that quite a lot of people regard as an absolute cesspit, which is Daka Daka.
Mm.
But
Mm.
it has a law
Mm.
section that you're not allowed to be too spurious about. So you can go in there and
Ah,
ask
I
a
see.
genuine question, and people will usually give you a considered answer. Usually, unless it's like why is everybody in the setting really really white, and then the topic gets shut. Uh,
Okay, this question's a bit too big for us. So we're only two people. This is for an army of crazy people. We gotta move on. What's our next
uh,
one? I'm doing stretches right
This is one
now.
I had sent in, which is you have your two characters that you do the comics about, which are your guards lady and your Harlequin.
Yeah,
Why did you
yes.
pick those? Like, do they represent you a little bit?
I wanted a guardsman because I thought which character in the 40K universe isn't like super evil when 99% are super evil? Oh, guardsmen, because they're just like dudes. They're normal people. And I wanted them to be Asian because there were no Asian characters in these
Hmm.
books. So I was kind of like frustrated with that. And I chose Harlequin because um have you noticed every character in this setting is dressed really wildly? But the Harlequin guy is just like in a suit.
Yeah, he's just in like a
And I
little
thought that was
little gymnastics outfit.
like a and I thought that was really funny that he was allowed to exist and dress this casually.
Yeah, he just walks around in
So
like
I
a
put
little
him in.
lycra bodysuit and then like a little jacket he's borrowed from someone in the 80s. Like,
Yeah.
just to his waist as well most of the time. Like,
And I was wondering, why has nobody berated him for not putting on more pauldrons or spikes on his body or something like that? I just thought it was really, he's so out of place for dressing so simply. So that's why I put him in.
I love
And
that
that's it.
reason, quite honestly. Just the two most normal people walking around like, no, I don't understand why the fashion sense in this universe is so insane. We haven't been to the
Stuck in
spikes
the
and bicycle
80s.
chain shop recently. Yeah, like
Right.
so
They're
I had
long.
a couple of characters that I used to write
Yeah.
about, which was pretty much the same reason. I had a commissar that was a really moderate commissar that was just
Mm,
a dude, and
yes.
then a guardsman
Yes.
captain who was just like this middle-aged man who wanted to go home. He was like not even
Oh,
homesick. He was just like, I've had enough of your shit for the day. I want to leave. And I think that is how most people would feel, quite honestly.
mm,
I think they would just be like,
right.
this is a lot.
They, they just want to go
Oh, and
home.
it's raining.
I like
Oh,
these
good.
guardsman stories. I like your characters. They're just normal people.
Yeah, I eventually had to move away from those because, like, on a 40K forum, it looks perfectly normal to have those characters in your comics. If you go to the wider
Mm.
Facebook and Twitter and you're like drawing a commissary or drawing a Imperial Guard in certain uniforms, people are like, "Oh, you're a bit of one of those people." So for a while, I stopped drawing them, and I kind of came back to it recently. But I make sure it's very stylized. I make sure it's very clear
Mm.
that like the eagle is a little triangle or it's a little square, and it's like
Oh, I see. Yes.
because on first glance on someone's phone, they're gonna be like, "I'm scrolling past actual fascism." Oh, good. Uh, it's not like with the Space Marines where they're like bright red or bright blue.
Oh, lo siento, Benny,
Yeah.
but when I first like ran into you and oh God, another commissar person. Boy,
Oh yeah.
am I gonna open their profile and see like stuff that makes me sweaty and worry? Thankfully, no. You are a statistic outlier.
There's one other guy that turns up when I'm rude about Commissar LARPers on the internet who's like, "We're not all like that." I was like, "Okay, there's two of us that aren't, but the rest of them." uh,
Which is
yeah,
good.
I mean, I came in the really rough way through these
Huh.
people who associate with characters because I came in through a role-playing server where we had people who
Mm.
truly identified with the Krieg. And
Oh.
oh yeah. And
Oh.
one of them was this really lovely young man who was a friend of mine for a very long time, but he was then he
Mm.
turned 18 and he got conscripted into the Israeli Defense Force. And
Oh,
it was
I see.
I wouldn't say that that was reflected in him liking to play a Krieger, but there were definite connections between his enjoyment of military logic in real life and his enjoyment of military logic in the game. And we
Yeah.
eventually just had to remove him because he was making so many people uncomfortable. It
Yeah.
was just a little too close to the nose for him to be talking about strategic benefits
Yeah.
of certain things
Mm.
like basically war crimes in the RPG, and we were like, this is too close to what's going on.
I it's so it's no offense to the Guardsman fans, but you gotta understand in the wider Guardsman fan base, it attracts a certain kind of person
Yeah,
who knows a whole lot about military history.
I mean, it's
To tell you
fine in
about
these little
it.
contained areas, like on that server.
Yes, it's fine.
But it's like what I said, when you go out onto broader Twitter and you realize that people can read what you're writing, you have to remember that not
Mm,
everybody knows what you're talking about.
right.
Let's come away from the slightly frightening fascism for a second. I
All
have
right. Next
normal
question.
questions.
I'm
Yeah.
doing stretches so I don't fall asleep.
uh, Here we go. Oh, this is another one. Which Chaos God do you think would try and recruit you?
Which case
Yeah,
God
are you?
hurt me? Um,
This is a weird one for me as well.
um, which like impulse are you inclined? Are you are you smelly? Are you
Do you like to shower?
um maybe maybe Zinch. I don't know, it's a bit far.
I don't.
I guess
Maybe
try to improve
maybe
me.
Slanesh because of the perfectionism and the like.
I suppose, but Slanesh is also very broad.
They're all
Perfectionism
very
and
broad. Yeah.
happiness, very broad.
I mean, Tzeentch is just
I
like I
like the
like.
smelly guy. Can I just willingly
Yeah, just be
offer
like, I'll
to be
come.
the
I'll come
smelly
help
guy?
the stinky boys. Like, I think having read some of the earlier stuff about like remembrances and artists being really obsessed with putting out work that they
Mm,
thought was good enough, whilst everyone else is going, yeah, it's fine. I think I'd probably be Slanesh in that respect, but like when they all go
yes.
off being noisy and partying, I'll probably just stay home. Just like, no,
Oh
no, I
yeah.
don't want to come listen to your very loud music. I just want to sit here and draw this circle for the 15th time.
Okay. You're Slanesh in like an artistic
Or in like the
branch.
slightly intrusive thought of, yeah,
Perfectionist.
oh dear. I mean,
I offer myself. I don't need to be
maybe
picked.
just secretly corn
I offer
that like we're
myself.
both tremendously angry but have to not tell anybody about it.
Don't let them
Don't
know.
let them know you're actually rolling your eyes. Oh dear.
Okay, we answered those
Okay,
honestly.
we have the big questions here, which I put together last time. Like, okay, so James Workshop calls you up and he's like, Kristina, I want the
Yes.
week off. I want you to put something new in my game.
Yeah.
What are you going to put in the setting? What
Yeah.
are you going to add to it?
Just add, right?
For this question, yeah.
Okay. I draw my card from my Yu-Gi-Oh deck, and on it is a Sisters of Battle, and she's dressed appropriately. She's got clothes that look good on her, and she can fight them. And I tell James, this is my card, James, and he said, okay, we'll put clothes on them just this once. I said, yes, I can die now. I change I change the Sisters of Battle, but give them better clothes, and
Do
that's
they
it.
still get to keep the high heels that mean they can't run very well?
They they get to keep the high heels and the Space Marines because honestly, they got bigger tatas than the Sisters of Battle. They also get the sexified armor and they also get heels. Everybody gets heels in this one. Special kill team, heal team.
I love this. And the guardsmen are just running through the mud in the heels, just going, oh.
They get to pick the colors.
The tanks have heels. Everything has heels now. Oh my god, those Sentinel two-leg walkers that the guardsmen have to run. I've also got the high heels just stamping through the hills.
The Titans have heels.
Oh, not
Those really classy ones, the black heels with the underside being red.
and
Those are for the Titans.
and the Eldar are just like, no, we want our vehicles to not fall over. We're not going to do this.
This is just for the Imperium. That's my changes.
Like personally, I would put some more maps in because I just love maps. That's like
Maps? In what way?
so in a lot of the rule and law books, we've got maps of certain sections of the galaxy that show what's going on. And I would just like some more maps where we can see some more stuff going on. And that's a really tame change, but I like the idea of there being some more known bits and pieces, and then people could build on them, rather than having to always go back to Ultramar or always going to Cadia before it blew up.
Oh, really? There's not many like maps and descriptions of the other parts of the places?
There are descriptions for like specific book series, like the Gaunt's Ghosts have their own map, and the role-playing books had their own maps because I think they wanted to stay outside of the common canon. And then the main books have this map with the big split down the middle since the big upheaval, when everything caught on fire. And then there are some small maps, and that's it. I think I've said the word maps enough now, but no, this is like, it doesn't annoy me. It's just something I'd like to see more of, is just more geography.
Yes. And it would make the fans of the factions happy to see more of the galaxy, because this sounds very Imperium focused.
Yeah, I'm sure there must be one, but I've not seen many maps that are focused on orcs or
other factions.
Or like a big map of someone trying to map out Dark Eldar would be hysterical, but I'd love to see it.
Just throw a bone at the other factions.
Yeah,
they'll take anything.
They'll take this.
So desperate.
They'll take this little London Tube style picture of like, there's your 3 planets. Please have them.
And they'd be so grateful too. They'll take the scraps.
They'll be like stuffing it into their mouths with both hands, going, "Please, yes." Okay, so James comes back and he's like, "What do you want to remove from my game?"
What am I removing from your game?
What?
You go first this time. Let me think while I stretch.
Oh.
Oh, you didn't think of any answer?
I think my answer would get me slapped. Is I would.
No, we'll say it now. Nobody will slap you. Everybody, please agree. Don't slap him. Come on.
I would take away Space Marines for a bit. I would just remove them.
In what way? Take away them?
Send them off on a trip, or go on holiday, and there's no Space Marines for 2 years. We just don't have them. They've all got.
For 2 years?
They've all just got on the party bus, and now we have to look at other things for a bit.
Like the other aliens and stuff.
Yeah, we actually the squats are coming back, so the Space Marines can all have a couple of years off. Just take a gap year, tour the world, see the foreign countries. This is the thing you're asking me about. Like, do students really take a year off between school and university? Let the Space Marines do that. Just
This is good because distance makes the hearts grow fonder.
Yeah, and they can all come back and all have, I don't know, bigger heels and better powers. I think
spit acid.
Seriously, if I had to remove something entirely from 40k, it would actually be probably be the Kriegers and the Steel Legion.
Wow, you're asking for trouble.
I know I'm asking for
Everybody,
trouble.
I can see their hands. Their hands are raised. They're ready to hit.
I'm not saying they can't ever come back. I'm saying that they just blink them out of existence and put them back in with better writing. With. I mean, I love Steel Legion, but boy, do they also have an unfortunate aesthetic for the current day.
I suppose maybe a redesign.
Yeah,
you mean?
Yeah. Okay, now you've got to say what you'd remove.
Okay, guys, what do I say? Oh wait, let me think. If I had to, I think your idea, I wouldn't take anything out completely because the funny, weird thing about 40K and the fan base is that there's a little bit for everybody. Somebody out there is a fan of this very obscure, minuscule thing,
Oh yeah,
and they will be missed if you took them out.
like Kroot fans are the most lovely people. I love Kroot fans because they're just
Ah,
like you
yeah.
said, they're so grateful for anything that features Kroot. And also Kroot are just inherently wonderful. They're just snacky little
Yes.
guys who go around eating all the stuff and then learning
Yes.
from eating all the stuff. They're like, no, we can't eat rocks. No, they're not good. No, no rocks for us.
So I agree with your point. I wouldn't take anybody out, but I think the Space Marines should take a
They could
break for a
go on a
while.
party bus and just
Yes.
they
Do
all
their
go
own thing.
home to Terra for sensitivity training.
Sensitivity training.
Yeah, because we've got
That's
the
good.
squats coming in. We've got to learn how to talk to them, so they could all just. Oh, we're not allowed to say squats, are we? They've got a fancy name that I don't remember because
What's their new name?
it's not in front of
It's
me.
not squats.
No,
It's not
squats is
squats.
an in-universe
Okay.
slur now. I can't remember what we're meant to call squats.
Okay, I'm gonna guess it starts with a D.
No, it starts with a V, I think.
Worf.
Dwarf. Hang on, let's look it up.
Starts with a D.
Um,
That's my
my
guess.
idiot ass. I just like Googled squats and it's just come up with a load of women sitting down because I didn't include the word 40K. They are returning as the Leagues of Votan. Votann.
Vote. That's boring. Vote 10.
I think they're trying to get away from the word squats, but it's not going to work.
Why are they trying to get away? Is that like a mean thing to say?
Apparently,
Squats?
in universe, it's a mean thing to say now.
Okay, so it's a mean thing to say. All right. Could have been something dwarf adjacent. All
I'm just
right.
glad they're back because it gives people a chance to do like a humanity faction that isn't the Imperium. You know?
There was it's nice because I'm sure there are squats fans. Like there's a fan of anything out there in
Oh,
40K.
there's a
So the
lot.
squat fans are
There's
rejoicing.
a lot of
Yes.
well, Votan
I'm very
fans.
happy for them. Squats fans in the audience, I was right there with you cheering when I saw the little weird guys come up on the screen.
Oh, on April 1st, when they popped open the door and everyone's like, oh, it's going to be a trick. And I was like, well, it would be if they hadn't put the video out on March the 31st by accident. So they put the trailer out on Twitter the day before April 1st. And I was like, this is a lot of money to put into a trailer for it to be a joke. And then
Oh, March 31st. So it wasn't April the
And then
1st.
they put it out on the community site on April 1st, like, haha, it's a funny. And
Ah,
I was like, it would be a
okay.
funny if social media hadn't got the day wrong. Uh, it could have been a really early April Fool's joke, but
Okay.
yeah.
So we've agreed now. Both of us think that James should give the Space Marines a 2-year break. Sensitivity training on Terra, where they learn to hug and they kiss.
Was that your Space Marine kissing noise? That's why they need the sensitivity training, because they just run up and lick each other like Labradors at the minute. They need to do it better.
Next
There's a
question.
mute function on this setting. I could put it on.
I'm sorry. Siento. Next question. I'm still stretching.
Okay, the last one is like, what would you change? How would you change the setting? Would you put an event in? And I, I think I was speaking to you about this the other night that I think at
Hmm.
one point there has to be an end of something.
Same with the AOS, you mean, like
Yeah,
the big
there needs
erase
to be a conclusion.
kind of
It
thing.
can't be 2 minutes to midnight for the next 20
Yes,
years.
right. Okay. How would you change or ruin or reset the settings? Is your question.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. What's yours? Go ahead.
I think the only way they can do it is that they take the, well, for me, the only way they could do it would be to take the war back to Terra and actually have it conclude.
Take the what back to
The
Terra? The
entire
war?
the entire fight over to where the Emperor is and force something to happen over there.
Oh, like the one, like the first one, like
Yeah,
the
bring
siege.
it full circle.
That would be nice. I think that would be
It'd be a
good.
good day out for all these Space Marines that are at home having their sensitivity training.
Okay, but in your war, in War 2, in Siege 2, who comes out? Who wins?
I don't think it
Does the Emperor
matters.
live, die?
I don't.
Hmm,
I think there has to be mutual destruction of some kind. You know?
mutual destruction.
Yeah.
But the Chaos Gods would still be around, regardless
Yeah.
of physical war.
Yeah. This is why it's a very difficult thing to conclude, and why I'm not being paid to do it.
That's a good point.
It's like, oh, this is difficult. Yeah,
Unless,
that's why we're not on staff doing these questions.
James, James, are you listening? Unless you hire us right now.
Please don't hire me to delete Kriegers. Uh, I'd have to move house to somewhere safe with a lot of gates. But I think there does need to be like a mode 2 of everything, like the Age of Sigmar rollover.
I think it's very controversial, but I think the old Warhammer setting being reset and put on with new paint, I think that's good. I think, EP.
I,
The big cataclysm, the thing, reset. That
yeah,
could work for 40K.
this is this is how we get cancelled in real time. It's just they want to end
No,
the
we're not getting
40Ks.
canceled. There are like 8 people here. I'd like to see these 8 people try to cancel me.
Oh dear, it could happen.
It could happen.
Oh
So that's yours?
yeah. So what would your big change be? It doesn't have to be a big change.
I'm thinking about it. I mean, I could go on like a really dramatic, thematic, like story thing about the Emperor and the Space Marines. But I think for something like this, I hope Gork and Mork show up and kill the Emperor in his seat. Because it's so stupid, but also very chaotic and destructive. Like it feels like it would suit 40K if Gork and Mork just came back
I,
and killed the
it would
Emperor.
have to be in like the dumbest way possible. Like they're not actually trying to do it; they just sit on him or they knock the wall over.
They look around because they're really, I imagine they're like so big that they wouldn't be able to see him. So they're in the palace and they're like looking around, where is the guy? And they're like, oh, I'm tired, I gotta sit down. And they sit down on the chair and they don't even see him, and then the emperor
They just
dies.
crushes away into dust. Oh,
That's it. That's how I hope it ends.
I have a question from Discord, which is which
All
which
right.
Primarch is the best cook,
Which Primarch is the best
and why
cook?
is it Vulcan?
Oh, it's Vulcan because he seems like he has the best temperance for cooking.
I think they were going off him having all the forges and barbecue equipment, but yes, also
My guys, we don't cook on the black, forges and stuff. That's not where we cook.
that.
We cook on the stove or in the
I
microwave.
don't think I'd want Gilliman to cook for me because I think he would just serve you like slightly salted water and be like, "It's soup.
It's soup.
It's soup. It's got 2 ingredients."
Lore-wise, who's is good at cooking?
Uh,
Um, any of those fuckers eat? They don't need to eat. Why would they know how to cook?
So they can have parties with all of their little children.
They're little boys. They have barbecue cookouts.
Yeah, and birthday parties. There's a ton of people being,
And
turning 100 years old all the time. They've got to have really good birthday parties.
it might be. What's his name? Viking stereotype.
Oh, Russ.
Yes, because he's always around people. No?
I don't think he cooks. I think he's like the person who would like just rip into raw meats to prove he's like tough enough to do it.
Then it's Fulgrim. I'm sure he's been taught how to cook.
Not Sanguinius?
He can't be in the kitchen. He's a fire hazard.
Oh, yeah, he would shed. They'd have to put those giant those hair mats on him, but over both of his wings.
Oh, he can't be in the kitchen.
Then,
it's Vulcan. It's Vulcan because he's fireproof and he has no hair, so there's nothing, to catch on fire.
And then Konrad is just not allowed to touch anything until he's washed his hands.
No.
Several times.
Several times. He has the baby chair. Special baby chair just for him. Any other questions from the Discord? Any of you people?
No, that was the only one that came through.
Okay. How long have we been talking for?
Exactly half an hour.
It feels like longer than less.
It's not.
It's not? No. Are there any more questions?
No, that was
Do people like listening?
I don't know. Because we have to do this through the phone. I have to just stare at the phone screen of the ominous numbers of people listening to what we're doing. It won't let me leave.
There's like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, Benny, you got any more questions? One more question. One question. You're the podcast host. One question.
I don't have any questions. That was it. That was, who do you think would be the best at cooking?
I'm sorry for everybody just tuning in and catching the who would be best at cooking question.
I mean, my
Primarch Gordon.
My only other question is, which Primarch smells the worst, and why is it Konrad? And I think it.
We know it's Konrad.
We know it's Konrad because
he doesn't wash.
Because there's a full book about him being stinky.
There's a whole book about him smelling bad, guys.
He just creeps around being Night Taunter and warning people by his odor, and that's like an entire section of it.
Which Primarch is smelly?
Oh, God.
Oh, my God. Okay, any more questions?
No, there are no more sensible questions, and I'm not reading out any more than I can.
No, read the nonsensible questions. It's late night. This is the time for nonsensible questions.
Oh, dear God. No, I'm calling it before it gets truly weird. Well,
no. It's 11:35.
You've had a second wind, haven't you?
I'm exercising, right? Like I'm stretching and I'm jumping. But we can call it a night if you like. I'm sure people are very sleepy, tired.
Oh, here's a question coming through. This is a good one. From Chanus. I'm not sure how we pronounce this name. They're listening in the chat. It's the person with the Dark Eldar profile picture. Which character would you like to see die in the setting? Like,
oh boy,
we have done Kiss, Marry, Kill as a title, and I've not mentioned who would you kill.
That's all too many. Kiss, marry, kill between the Primarchs is an easy summary.
All right,
go ahead, Benny.
Kiss, marry, kill. Good Lord.
Kiss, marry, kill. What do you get from kissing? That's nothing. I see people and I beso all the time. That's not a very compelling act to do when you meet someone.
I think I would either marry a I mean, you could have a polyseal marriage. You could marry more than one Primarch, I reckon.
Okay.
So I would marry
Who would you marry?
Konrad and Russ because it would be funny.
Uh,
Just trying to domesticate these two feral children.
you can fix them.
And they assumedly have very little in common most of the time. You'd be like,
Mm,
I
okay.
would do that because that house would be absolute chaos. Who would I kill? Oh, I think. Hmm.
Who would you kill?
Hmm. Angron, because he'd
Who
be into it.
deserves? All right, Angron, because he'd be into it.
Yeah, I think he's had enough. I think he wants to go to bed.
Oh yeah, it's like a mercy killing. Yeah, that's a good choice actually. It sounds morally right in a way. Who would you kiss?
Uh,
Such a simple question. Who would you kiss?
hmm. I would probably kiss Gilliman, but only if I could do it like when you visit a child and you just go, what? And like make that they absolutely hate it because they're being held up like a toddler.
So you're only kissing to annoy.
Yes.
All right,
Go on,
those are
you.
your choices. Very
Okay, who
interesting.
would you kiss?
I would kiss. I would kiss to heal. Who here? Who of them would need a kiss?
Who's the
Um,
saddest boy?
who's the sad? Ah, Konrad Kurz. I guess he would need a
You'd
kiss.
have to like get one of those antibacterial wipes first.
Oh no, not Konrad Kurz. Corvus Corax. I'm not kissing Konrad Kurz. No, it's too unclean. Corvus Corax, because he's in a rough patch right now, and he's stuck in a tower, I think, and he's painting minis, and he seems really upset.
Where is Corvus? I mean, I've got a vague clue of where everybody else is, but he's the one that people talk about least. So I don't know where.
In current lore, he's really sad, so he's just like secluded, so he doesn't leave his room.
He,
I think a kiss would help
he's
him.
alive and he won't come out.
He won't come
And
out. He's just like too
and
upset.
Gilliman hasn't gone. You know, one of my brothers is still actually alive. I'll go and find him. He's like, no, he won't come out. I'll leave him there.
Give him a
Oh
kiss.
my God. Yeah.
That's
Let's
right.
get Gilliman to go kiss his brother on the head and then get him out of his bedroom. Yeah.
Okay, who would I kill? Who deserves
Well,
it?
Angron is already dead because I've done that. So you've got to pick someone else.
Okay. Okay, I can't pick the people you've picked.
Well, no, they're already dead.
I kill yes. I kill I kill who Lorgar.
Oh, I forgot he
Because he kind of
existed.
deserves it. Right? He might as well be dead.
What's he currently doing?
He's like reading in a library, like he's not really doing anything compelling.
Oh,
He's like in a chaos. He's just, he's hanging around.
he's one of those weird
His
ones.
purpose kind of finished.
Yeah, I kind of forget that he exists, but I remember that Erebus exists, which is it's like Erebus was the far more interesting character out of the two in the way that they were
Yes,
written and
he was
handled.
the interesting one.
Yeah,
Right.
poor Lorgar.
So I'm just gonna kill Lorgar because he's kind of like he wasn't a very nice person. He was very manipulative because he had like goals and stuff, and now he's just like reading in a library, so he's just like whatever. So I'm killing that guy.
He won't even notice.
Might as well. He wouldn't even notice. He wouldn't even. And I'm marrying. Who am I marrying? Which one of them is not crazy? Which one of them is not crazy or a manic depressive?
Or oddly smelly.
Or ugly smelly? Um,
I mean, there was that long period of time where Fulgrim was trapped in a painting, so you could just marry that and not have to deal with his bullshit.
He's like if he doesn't come out of the painting insane, he's gonna come out like manic, like depressed and stuff. He's as useful as Corvus Corax.
I mean, if you married Corvus, you wouldn't have to talk to him. I love how we're going.
The
Who would be
safe
the least
choice.
awful to marry?
I think the safe choice would be Gilliman because he seems responsible. He's the only one like moving right
You'd have
now.
financial stability because
Financial stability, a good head of hair. Italian.
I mean, there's Magnus.
Italians are really good looking.
Magnus is still around.
Mr. Ketchup. No,
Mr. What?
Mr. Ketchup.
What?
Because he's all red. No, I'm not marrying a condiment. I'm marrying Gilliman.
Okay.
I'm sure he can make a really good salad because he's Italian. He knows good food because he's Italian. Great hair, Italian. That's my choice.
Fine. And when we have the barbecue and Vulcan does the cooking, I'll bring my two awful hairy husbands round.
Right. We're gonna be the power couple.
I'm certain that this is not what people expected us to talk about. And this.
Sorry, everybody. Lo siento. This is not what you wanted, right? This is not what you came in here for. But it's all we got. We
Which
burned through these questions really quickly.
We did the sensible questions really early, and then came down to who makes the best salad.
Fair Spanish because he's got metal arms and he can toss the salad really good.
Oh God, Kristina, phrasing.
What do you mean? I gotta sleep. What time is it? It's 11:41.
Good night. I'm so
really
sorry.
Sweaty. I've been stretching this whole time.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. As long as everybody had fun. I hope they did.
Yeah, we scarred everybody for life with your Space Marine kissing noises.
Don't mute me. Don't censor me.
God.
All right. All right. Closing remarks.
Oh God. Just that generally.
Peace and love.
Yes. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. Bye. Thanks for listening to the Disney Channel.